Hello friends, Amanda here. Welcome back to Handmade No Hallmark. Today I've got my first Halloween card for the season. It features some really cute images from Hello Bluebird. I was super excited to get started on these cards. I hope you enjoy. Let's get into it. The first thing I'm going to do is going to get my background nice and ink blended so it has an opportunity to dry completely, because I am going to be using my Distress Oxide inks with some Bristol Smooth cardstock, so it does take a little bit of time to dry, especially when I'm using a lot of ink. So I've got a moon mask here. This is from the Fawn moon stencil that came out, I'm going to say like last year maybe. You could easily just cut out some masking paper and do the same technique. And I've got my Distress Oxide inks, and I've got a piece of Bristol Smooth cardstock already cut down to the size of the panel that I'm going to use. And I've got a variety of colors here. I have got chipped sapphire, black soot, fossilized amber, ripe persimmon, and seedless preserves, and I'm going to start ink blending my moon background. So I wanted it to look like a big glowing moon in the background for my scene. I've done a card similar to this last year or the year before with this same color combination, and I just think it is so fun for Halloween. It's so pretty. At first you don't think it's going to blend really well, but then it really starts to come together once you add in the black soot and you really get it going. It looks really pretty together. So I'm just starting out with that ripe persimmon. I'm going to go in with the seedless preserves. And this is where I'm always kind of like, oh, is this really going to blend well together? But because this purple color has a little bit of like a orange undertone to it, they blend really well together. So again, I'm just going around that moon in a circular motion to get the appearance that the moon is glowing. Just going back and forth with my blending brushes until I get a really nice smooth blend, what I'm looking for. Again, you just have to work at it. You are going to be using a lot of ink for this. That's why I decided to use my regular foam blending tools instead of the blender brushes, because I have a better chance of getting more ink down using these instead of the other ones. Going in with that chipped sapphire around the edges. Now it does overlap the purple quite a bit here, but I am going to bring that back in to enhance that a little bit more. And you will get kind of inky with this one, so if you don't like it in your fingers all inky, you could, you know, put something down to protect your fingers, because I was pretty yellow when I was done with this one. So again, going back in with that seedless preserves, adding a bit more of that purple in, because the chipped sapphire and the seedless preserves go so well together. They look so nice. Gonna bring some more of that spiced marmalade in to get that glow on the moon. And now I'm going to go in with the black soot, and this is where it really starts to pull those colors together and really makes it shine. I really think it helps enhance everything, kind of frames it up, kind of adds a lot of depth and dimension to our background here. Again, this is a really fun color combination. I've used it a couple of times in the past with some of my Halloween cards, and I just think it is so pretty. Going to continue ink blending here until I'm completely happy with it. And again, it doesn't have to be super perfect, because we are going to go in with a little bit of splatter over top. You can see it kind of doesn't look like the greatest blend, but again, we can fix that with some ink splattering and it's going to look just fine. Going to clean my space off here. I'm just using a waffle flower stencil mat. And then I'm going to put my panel back on, and we're going to add some splatter. I'm going to be using some Perfect Pearl powder and some water to create the splatter today. I wanted to have kind of, it looked like stars in the background, but I also wanted it to be, them not to be super, super bright, because the moon is taking up all of the light in the space of this card. So I just wanted them to be kind of like in a background accent, but I wanted them to kind of sparkle a little bit and add a little bit of shine to the background. So that's why I decided to go in with the Perfect Pearl powder and some water. You do not need the amount of Perfect Pearls that I used here. A little bit goes a long way with Perfect Pearls. So you only need a little bit, and I did add a little bit of white gouache to it. It probably wasn't necessary, but I was just trying to experiment a little bit. And I just took a little bit of water to this, and I mixed them together to get a nice kind of mica, sparkly kind of splatter. You could easily just put it in a spray bottle and spritz your background and do some splatters that way. But again, I was just playing around, having some fun, and just experimenting a little bit here. So again, I'm going to get that all nice and moved around, and it makes really fine splatters. I'm using a really thin brush and it makes it for a really nice splatter. So we're going to get that on there in the background. I love the way that this looks, and it helps with the ink blending. You know, it kind of covers it up. Splatter fixes everything. Gonna remove that moon mask, and it is super bright. So I realized it was almost too bright, but the nice thing about this stencil from Fawn is it kind of has like another mask to put over top of it so that you can just ink blend the moon space. And that's what I'm going to do here. I'm going in very, very lightly, very little pressure on my hand with that fossilized amber color, just to add a little bit of color to the moon, just so it's not so white. I know it's kind of hard to tell on this with my camera here, but it does make a huge difference. And then I went in with kind of like the crater stencil and did a little bit of a heavier hand just to create some detail on the moon. And I think it looks so cool. I love the way that this moon turned out, and it just kind of softening the edge a little bit just to make it look a little bit softer. Super, super fun. So I'm going to set this off to the side to dry a little bit while we work on the other elements of the card. I'm going to be using the new 9 Lives stamp set from Hello Bluebird. I love this set so much. I just had to get it because I love my cat, and the chunky one laying down reminds me so much of my cat. I'm only going to be using 2 of the cats today. I wasn't sure which ones I wanted to use, so I'm only going to color 2, and then the other one I'll just save for another day. So I'm going to put on some music for you to enjoy while we do the coloring. All of the colors will be listed on the screen for you to enjoy, and I'll catch up with you guys as soon as we're all done. Once all the coloring was finished, I used the coordinating dies to cut out those sweet images. And next I am taking a die from Hello Bluebird. This is called Ghost Friends, and this is a little witch hat from it. And I really wanted to add a little hat to the top of my cat. Now I don't have any stamps from Hello Bluebird, so that's a witch hat. So, but I do have this die, so I thought, oh, I hope this fits really well. And it fits perfectly on top of this cat. Beautifully done. It works wonderful. So if you don't have a witch hat stamp, you can use this die. It works out great. So I'm just coloring it in with some of my Copic markers just to add some shading to the hat itself. I think I used this hat, or maybe I didn't use the hat yet, but I did use the ghost set in my card last year, which weirdly enough, my Halloween card from last year was also Hello Bluebird, the first one that I did, and this year is Hello Bluebird again. So Hello Bluebird for the win for Halloween cards. I just love their images. They're just super sweet. And then when I saw this 9 Lives cat set, I know I'm going to be using it for every season. Halloween, Christmas, the works. It's going to be used a lot because I love cats. Just coloring in the little band and the buckle for the hat, and we're going to get those all glued up. Really tiny dies, but it's so easy to work with. Add a little bit of glue to get these little dies adhered together. Again, these are super sweet. I love this. I did color another one off screen for the other cat. I'm going to put it on the inside, and I just did a purple band on that one instead of green. I just colored it off camera. It's the same exact thing, just to save a little bit of time in the video. Get that little buckle attached, and it's the cutest little hat. I love it so much. And this cat fits really well on the little broom that comes in the set as well. That would be super cute. Just going to add a little bit more shading on the hat here, just to add a little bit more dimension to it. Super cute and tiny. I love it so much. And it fits perfectly on his little head. I was so thrilled when I saw that it fit perfectly on his head. Super excited. So I was going to add some details to my little cats here after I adhered his hat down. I wasn't going to do any kind of like white line detail that I normally do, but I just had to. They're just so stinking cute, especially that chubby little cat. He's my favorite. Gonna add a little secondary greeting to go with my main one here, and this says Best Witches, and this comes from a MFT stamp set. I think it's like Boo to You is what it's called. If it's still available, I'll make sure to link it, but you could use any stamp set that, any Halloween stamp set will work out fine. This greeting was actually kind of like a second thought, just to add something different to the card, break it up a little bit. Just to add another secondary greeting. So I'm just stamping that down onto some black cardstock with some Bruce Monroe Alabaster White embossing powder, and I'm just going to trim it out with my little paper trimmer instead of using a die. Next, on the inside of the card here, I've got a just a white panel that I'm going to put on the inside of the card because I am going to be using a black top folding A2 size card base. And my chubby little kitty is going to lay down there on the inside of the card with his purple little hat, and on the inside it's going to say, "Hope your day is spooktacular." I think this would be a fun little birthday card. And there's this kitty's little hat, and these hats fit beautifully on all of these cats. I just think it's so cute. Could make like a whole like little witchy scene with all of these little cats, which I think is cute. I'm going to stamp down that greeting in here with some of my Distress Oxide inks. I'm going to use the Spiced Marmalade just to add a little bit more of Halloween colors in there. A pretty orange, just to match what's going on the outside. And I was trying to get my greeting nice and straight because it's kind of like the only thing on the inside of the card, and I wanted to make sure it was nice and straight. Because I have had a tendency to stamp my greetings crooked, and then it bothers me terribly. So I'm going to get that stamped down. And the orange went really cute with this little orange cat. Again, the whole stamp set was purchased because of the chubby cat up top. Because it is literally my cat. He is orange and he is chubby. And we call him our little pumpkin. And I call him Chunk. That's his nickname. Every time I see him, I'm always like, "Hey Chunk, what's up?" And he's just too cute. I love him so much. Gonna get him adhered on there. Super cute. Now we have all of the elements ready. I have got the Boo to You die from Hello Bluebird again, and I used this one last year, and I was going to do the green on the outside, but I felt like it didn't really match really well. I don't know. I wasn't really happy with it, but I know I wanted to have a little bit of green in the background to match the cat's little hat. So instead of doing the green on the front, I did the green as like a drop shadow in the background. So I die cut the Boo to You out of some black cardstock 3 times, and I'm going to stack it up nicely on top of each other. And then the last piece is going to be the green, and I'm going to attach it, but I'm going to do kind of a drop shadow effect. So you get that pretty green in the background, but it doesn't really distract from the whole scene. It kind of blends in really nicely and looks super cute. You can see that my fingers are completely yellow from doing all that ink blending, and it's, even though that they're oxide inks and they react with water, you'd think they'd be easy to wash off your hands, but they're not. You really have to scrub. So here's where I took that green piece and I did that little drop shadow effect, and I love the way that this looks. It really gave me the green I was looking for without being too bright. Now I can get all of these pieces adhered together, get my inside panel put down. A nice place to write a greeting. I think this would be a cute like birthday card, because it says like best wishes, and then it, you know, hope your day is spectacular. So anybody who has a birthday, you know, near or around the Halloween season, I think would be a fun card to give. Gonna adhere my panel. Oh, I dropped it first. Down, I have a nice thin black border all the way around the outside. And this little kitty up there, oh, he looks so cute. I love it so much. Such a cute cat and set. I was so thrilled with this. Super excited. Gonna adhere this down with that same Barely Arts adhesive right there at the bottom of our card base. And that little kitty is gonna sit right there on the top, right in front of that big, bright, beautiful moon. Almost like he's waiting for the witch to come back. Gonna use some of my scrapbook adhesive foam squares to adhere him down. I ended up putting 2 behind him, and then the rest he's kind of attached to that Boo. I just love it so much. I was so excited. This was my favorite card so far this year. Like, I just love it. Next, I'm going to go in with some of my favorite silver star sequins. These, I believe, are from Derice, and they are just too cute for this scene. I love it so much. It really adds a little bit of shine and sparkle to the background, like you're out on a nice Halloween night sky. And I just randomly placed them here and there. Add a few more ghosts. Listen to me. I'm so in the Halloween spirit with cards, which is funny because I don't really like Halloween. I don't decorate for it. I don't really like going trick-or-treating. I'll take my kids and, you know, be excited for them, but it's not my favorite season. It's not my favorite holiday, but I love making these cards and I don't know why. They're just so much fun. Gonna add one more star here just to kind of break up that background a little bit. There we go. Perfect. And this star on the bottom here was giving me some trouble. Like, I don't know, it just didn't want to stick. So I just took it off and replaced it with another little star. It worked out just fine. Next, I'm going to go in with my aqua shimmer pen and add a ton of shimmer to this die cut, so it looks almost like black glitter cardstock. That's why I absolutely love this aqua shimmer pen, because it really adds the shimmer, and it goes forever. Like, I've had this one for a really long time, and I haven't had to replace it because it's filled so much. Gonna add that in there, and I just really think it adds a nice fun dimension to a card. So if you don't have like glitter cardstock, or you know, you don't have a lot of that kind of thing on hand, just get a glitter pen, one like this, and you coat that die cut and it looks like glitter paper, and it's perfect. Gonna go in with my white gel pen and add some details to our little cat here. Gonna add some detail to the hat, to the little kitty's cheeks. I know they don't actually have dots on their cheeks, but it's cute. I love it. You have to, you know, cutesy up an already cute stamp set. And finally, I'm going to add my little secondary greeting on here right next to the kitty, and that will finish up this card for today. I really hope you enjoyed my first Halloween card of the season, featuring some super cute images from Hello Bluebird and some really dramatic ink blending for the background. Again, if you enjoyed the video, please consider hitting the like button. It lets YouTube know you're enjoying all of the content that I bring to you. Also, please consider hitting the subscribe button so you don't miss out on any more videos here on my YouTube channel. Hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll catch up with you again soon. Bye!
On screen, I've got a few videos that I think you'll enjoy. Consider hitting the subscribe button so you don't miss out on any more videos at my YouTube channel.